Hello, my dear pupils. Welcome to our English class. So, we continue our speaking theme, the environment, adding grammar construction, modal verbs should and must. And what is the resemblance between these both verbs? So, we use the should or shouldn't as a polite form giving somebody's advice. For example, if you'd like to advise somebody something, you use the affirmative form. You should recycle paper. You should recycle paper. Тебе следует перерабатывать бумагу. If you'd like that this result will be 50-50, that's why you use negative form. You shouldn't recycle paper. You shouldn't recycle paper. Тебе не нужно перерабатывать. If you'd like to ask somebody's general question, you start your general question from modal verb should. That's why you will change should and the person. Should I recycle paper? Should I recycle paper? Стоит ли мне перерабатывать бумагу? If you'd like to ask somebody's exactly information, that's why you use WH questions. What should I do? What should I do? Что мне следует сделать? Now, let's do an exercise in your student book. Exercise number 6 for practicing use of should or shouldn't form. That's why the first sentence, you have to make sentence should or shouldn't. She should have a shower, not a bath. Ей следует принимать душ, а не ванную. The next is you have to choose the best correct option. We, if you're talking about recycled books, of course, should. We should recycle books. Нам следует перерабатывать учебники. The next is if you're talking about throw away, выкидывать что-то. That's why we shouldn't throw them away. Нам не следует их выкидывать. The next is they, if you're talking about things for recycling center. That's why, of course, it will be should. They should take those things to the recycling center. То есть им следует относить вещи в центр переработки. The next is, let's choose. If you're talking about rubbish and exactly in the street, for example. Okay, that's why the most is he shouldn't leave rubbish in the street. Ему не следует оставлять мусор на улице. The next is if you're talking about reuse things. That's why we should reuse things. Нам следует пользоваться использованными вещами. The next is if you're talking about pollute the environment. It is shouldn't. We shouldn't pollute the environment. Нам не следует загрязнять окружающую среду. And the last of it, if you're talking about new clothes, you shouldn't buy new clothes. Yes? Вам не следует покупать новые вещи. You should reuse old clothes. Вам следует использовать старые вещи. Ну, то есть имеется в виду повторное использование старых вещей. Okay, I think so that it is clear for you using should or shouldn't if you're talking about, for example, giving somebody's advice actually. It will be polite, of course. And now let's try to talk with you about the modal verb must. If you're talking about must, we use for must or mustn't if we are talking about obligations and rules. And it's a kind of a strong advice, opposite should, because a should is polite advice. That's why you are ready to build affirmative and negative sentence. Is it possible to have a form? You must listen to her. You must listen to her. Ты должен слушать ее. And of course, negative form. You mustn't listen to her. You mustn't listen to her. Ты не должен слушать ее. I think so that it is so simple for you to make practice exercise. Okay, that's why in your student book we have got exercise number 3. There are some items. Boys and girls, be attentively. If you have got an item with a red circle, cross red circle, I think so that it is a kind of forbidden sign. Forbidden sign. Запрещающий знак. Without red crossed circle. Обязывающий знак. Binding sign. Binding sign. Обязывающий знак. There are forbidden signs and there is binding sign. That's why it is binding sign. The others 3 are forbidden signs. Your task is match these sentences, yes, with the shop signs. And of course you have to use modal verb must or mustn't. That's why the first sign is talking about what? You mustn't touch things in the shop. The next forbidden sign is talking about that you mustn't use mobile phone. And the last forbidden sign is talking about that you mustn't eat or drink. The last of it is binding sign, and it means you must pay here. That's why from the very beginning, the first forbidden sign, you mustn't touch the things in the shop. Ты не должен дотрагиваться до вещей в магазине. The next forbidden sign, you mustn't use a mobile phone. Ты не должен пользоваться мобильным телефоном. And the last forbidden sign, you mustn't eat or drink. Ты не должен пить, либо же есть. And the last of it is binding sign. You must pay here. Ты должен платить здесь. Okay, thank you so much for your lesson, my dears. See you next time.